Hi, it's Chrissy. It is a beautiful June Saturday. I am heading to another part of Brooklyn called Bushwick because I'm going to try Ichiran Ramen. It's a really famous ramen place in Japan, and I went there in Japan last year actually, and it was like the best ramen of my life. And I want to go to the one in Bushwick just to see how it compares. So we're going to check that out today. Bushwick is in the northern part of Brooklyn, which is just east of Williamsburg. I actually live in the southern half of Brooklyn, so in order for me to take public transportation to Ichiran, I would have had to have taken the train all the way into Manhattan and then back into Brooklyn. And I had to work later that day, so I decided it wasn't worth it. So I just drove there. So enjoy some nice driving shots around Brooklyn. The first big difference between this and the Shibuya Tokyo location I went to last year was that this is so much bigger than the Shibuya location. In Shibuya, it was literally in a basement and it was tiny, and I waited 45 minutes in line. This location is much larger than that. They have a lot more seating, which is cool. They also have the traditional counter booths as well as a traditional restaurant style seating arrangement with tables and stuff, so you can choose which experience you want. Personally, I chose to sit in the ramen booth because this is what I did in Japan, and I really like the privacy and the anti-socialness of it. Okay, so this is the form that you order on. In Japan, they actually have a vending machine where you do all this. But here you have a form, and as you can tell, this is like twice the price as it costs in Japan, and that's just for like a bowl of ramen. All right, so what do I want? Let's do a medium soup. For richness, let's do rich. And then garlic. I'm gonna do a half clove. I like my ramen garlic, but not too garlic. We're gonna do with pork. You can get extra if you want. And then let's do a number 2 spicy. Noodle texture, I like to do firm. And I don't think I want, this is something Dan would do if he was here. He would get the kaidama, which is where they just give you extra noodles for when you run out of noodles and you stick those in your broth, and it's really good. All right, is there anything else I want? I'm gonna add an egg. Let's do an egg. And then I don't need any soda or beer. And then I think we're good. Okay, let's call the guy. Thank you. Not gonna lie, I kind of love how I don't have to talk to anybody here or see anybody. It's perfect for antisocial weirdos like me. So I got the egg already, and I'm gonna wait to put this in the ramen. But already you can tell this egg is a lot different from what you get at the Japanese place. If you've ever had a ramen egg before, it's usually like a nice creamy orange in the middle. And this egg here, I'll get some chopsticks to show you. This egg here, slippery. It's just like really, really yellow on the inside. So that's not the greatest, but I'm just gonna stick it in my soup anyway, so whatever. So that took a total of like 2.5 minutes for this bowl to come out. And then they close the little thing so no one will bother me unless I ring the bell. But I have enough water for now, so I'm good. But oh, look at that. That looks so good. Okay, we're gonna try this now. If you don't like food eating or slurping noises, I would turn down the sound because this is about to happen. That's really good. That's really, really good. Yep, that's the best ramen ever. And for noodles, It's the most expensive ramen in New York, but that's the best ramen in New York. It's really, really good. Oh, it's just like it is in Japan. I'm so happy. Yeah, so I want more stuff. I think I'm gonna go for a half kayama. I'm choosing them extra firm this time. Let's see what the difference is. Call? Still have about this much broth left. That's so cool. Okay, so we're gonna try the extra firm. Let's see how this goes. That was good. I think it might be true firm, but I think I'll stick with the regular firm. Alright, so this is our damage here. You know, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, and they offer like a set that comes with a kaidaman, dessert, and a drink for like $35, so I didn't spend that much, and there's no tipping here. So it's like a traditional Japanese restaurant where you don't tip. But you know, for a bowl of ramen, that's still kind of a lot, so it was really, really good. Hi, so I'm home now after my ramen experience, so I thought I would talk about it really quick before I sign off. So let's talk about some of the pros and cons of Ichiran Ramen. I think the number one pro is the fact that it's here. Previously, this was a ramen that you could only get in a couple of different cities in Japan, and now we have it in New York City, so that's really exciting. The pro number two is that it actually turned out to be really, really tasty. The soup was pretty much what I remembered from Japan. You know, it was like perfectly seasoned, and what I love about Ichiran, and this is something you won't get at other ramen places like Ippudo, for example, is that it's like perfectly customizable, so you can make the soup as rich as you want. You can make the noodles as firm as you want. You can make it as spicy as you want. And you have control over that, which is really, really awesome. So you can get your perfect bowl of ramen, and everybody's is different. So it's really fun to try different options there too. Another positive thing is that there is different options for different size parties. For example, I sat in the counter area, which is the traditional Ichiran seating area with like little cubicles. They also have the restaurant area there too, and I think this is the only location of Ichiran in the world that has a traditional sit-down restaurant area aside from like the cubicle area, and that's really neat too. So you can now take a larger group to Ichiran Ramen and not feel like really, really awkward because you're all sitting in one row and you have like these little dividers between you, and that's really nice. Another great thing about Ichiran is that it was really, really fast. So I think I told you earlier that it took maybe less than 5 minutes for me to order my ramen and then for them to deliver it to my cubicle. It was so fast, and it was perfect and to my specifications. And that was really awesome. And of course, it's just authentic, and that's really cool too. And if you are really into, like, you know, there's like Japanese food, and then there's like authentic Japanese food, the same way as there's like, you know, Taco Bell, and then like actual Mexican food. And this is like actual Japanese food. So this is a place you go where you know you're getting an authentic Japanese meal and an authentic Japanese experience, and it's pretty cool. But you know, there were some cons about it, and I think the number one con is that it's so expensive. Oh my gosh. It's twice the price as it is in Japan, like literally twice the price. And I mean, that's something to think about. You know, I find that most ramen in New York across the board is pretty overpriced, but this place is probably the most expensive I've been to, and it was about $27 for me at the end for everything. But the nice part is that I didn't have to tip, and I think if I had gone out to a regular ramen restaurant, I probably would have gotten, you know, the same thing, and I probably would have also gotten maybe like a beer or tea, and then with tip on top, I would have ended up paying the same price anyway. So there's that. So I guess in the end, it ends up being the same. So, but know going in that the base price of the ramen is over $18, which is so much. It's so much money. But they have like their factory building right next to the restaurant, and you can see it, so you know that they're making everything fresh on site, which is really cool. The second con is that they have a pretty limited menu. There's only one thing on the menu, and it's tonkatsu ramen, and that's it. So if you like don't eat meat, they don't have any options for you. There's no vegetarian option. There's no vegan option unless you just buy like, you can't even buy the egg. The egg is soaked in the pork broth, so a vegetarian can't eat the egg either. You can buy like rice and edamame and a beer. That sounds terrible. Don't do that. So yeah, if you're on a limited diet, yeah, they don't really have much for you there, unfortunately. And I guess the last con is that it's kind of in the middle of nowhere in Bushwick, which for a place that serves you so quickly, like you're not going to spend a whole lot of time there. And for me to get there, like if I'd taken the train, it would have taken me an hour to get there from my house. And I would have had to take a train to Manhattan and then back into Brooklyn. And then to spend like a half hour from the moment I order until the moment I left. And then like go an hour home. It's kind of a lot. And there isn't too much to do around there either. Bushwick is like a former industrial area. So like a lot of people live there now. So if you live in the neighborhood, yeah, like by all means go there all the time. Good for you. But for someone like me who lives in South Brooklyn, like to make the trip all the way up there, I'm not sure. Well, it was worth it. The ramen was so good. But to go there all the time, it's a trek. And it's something I won't be doing all the time. But yeah, know that that's kind of the only thing in that area. It's like residences, old factory buildings, Ichiran Ramen. That's kind of it. I'm trying to think of good things you could combine a trip to Ichiran with, but you know, I'm not that familiar with that section of Brooklyn. It's not far from Williamsburg. So if you wanted to do some like shopping in Williamsburg and then have Ichiran Ramen, or if you were going to like McCarran Park and then wanted ramen, I guess you could do that. So that's all I got for today. Thank you so much for watching this. If you have any questions, please put it in the comments below. Please subscribe. I have so much stuff planned for this summer. And I'll see you back next time. Bye!